Now, she's somebody very interesting. Her name is Pratyusha Vemuri. Pratyusha, hi, good morning. Welcome to TBC. Let me give people a little bit of an introduction about you. So, all of us today know someone who has been scammed. We all know someone who's been defrauded online or through some OTP scam or something or the other. Pratyusha was just like us. She was working with Microsoft, not in India, and despite being so aware, fell for a scam. That's when she decided to come back to India and start something called AI Kavach. I love the name. It's like literally a Kavach or a safeguard against all these scams that happens. She obviously had this kick-ass idea, took it to Shark Tank and Sequoia, all of them are backing her now. So Pratyusha, before I spill out all the beans, why don't you get us started with what exactly is the level of scams that we're looking at the moment? Like I said, we all know someone who's been scammed in our family, in our friends, etc.
Yeah.
How bad is the problem at the moment?
Yeah, actually, the fraud is an extremely scary issue right now because everybody's coming online, right? The digitalization has exponentially increased. So, to give you some numbers, in 2022, the estimated loss for just frauds has been $6.1 trillion. Only payment fraud is
Wow.
supposed to be exceeding $343 billion over the next 5 years. Right? Account takeover attacks have increased 354% only in 2023. Right? Identity theft is projected to grow to $635 billion in 2023. So the numbers are pretty insane. And yeah, I hope we all are protected well, both businesses and consumers.
Right. You said a couple of things which you and I understand, but I want to sort of Asan Bhasha may make it easy for our viewers to understand. When you say identity theft, what does that mean? And when you say account takeover, what does that mean?
Yeah, so identity theft is something when maybe your KYC or some kind of Aadhaar information has been leaked online, right? So in the dark web or anywhere, somebody gets hold of it and then they impersonate you and then they try to live a life like you, apply loans on your behalf, and it's just like a parallel person operating like you, and you would have no idea, right? So that is identity theft. They've stolen your identity. Account takeover is when somebody has unauthorized access to my account, right? Like, and then they make some unauthorized transactions. So it could be through phishing, it could be through data breaches. Somehow they got hold of maybe your Amazon account or a Myntra account or your bank account, and then they go in and operate like you, and then they make transactions on your behalf. That's account
Now this
takeover.
is quite scary because what happens is all of us have a single Google sort of ID. We hate making
Yeah.
multiple ones, that we keep
Yep.
logging in to all
Yep.
different websites. And if that one thing is lost, then everything is at risk. I
Correct.
don't really have a solution to it. Do you?
Yeah, so basically we started off with AI Kavach, which is a consumer product to protect consumers from, false websites, false SMSs and so on. We've hence pivoted to B2B as well completely. It's called RaptorX AI now. And that is what is backed by Sequoia and even the sharks as well. So what we provide is an advanced behavior biometrics based solution where we look at keystroke patterns, typing patterns, where are they coming from, device fingerprinting. We look at all of that and then we build a customer profile and then we do a life cycle risk assessment of the user. So whenever anybody logs in, even if they have your account credentials, right, we will be able to figure out from the way they're typing, where they're typing, how they're typing, the speed of typing, the pressure of typing, that, hey, it is not you. All right. So businesses, if they use us, they will be able to stop the account takeover attacks. And even device fingerprinting, right? Like we will be exactly know that this is the kind of device that the user usually uses. It's not matching. Have they emulated a device? Is it a jailbroken device? We look at all of that as well. So we look at that. We
So
apply
how do you tell? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
How are
So
you
there is
able to
these.
get so much information?
Yeah, so this is all anonymized information. There is no personal information tracked, right? So whenever it's an SDK that is integrated into the business platform, and then we would build a anonymous profile of that user, right? Where it is not saying that Pratyusha does this. Some Pratyusha call it has an X user ID. That X user ID has these characteristics. And if there's any deviation in behavior, we're going to flag that. And then we use our own unsupervised machine learning. There are a couple of machine learning models that we use. The machine learns by itself that, hey, this looks fraudulent, and then it predicts that for the banks or e-commerce as well. So it's a life cycle
Right.
risk
I like
assessment.
how, yeah, I get it. I like how in times when AI is being used for so many scams, AI is also being used to detect these scams, and that's what essentially what you're doing. You're saying that
Yep.
we're going to catch on to it, and we're going to catch on to. I know your business has now moved a lot to B2B. When you say that you're providing services to say Airtels and banks and others to ensure that they safeguard their websites and thus our accounts, etc. But if you had to, since this is TBC and we are all looking out for consumer interest and people, I want people to take away something from this conversation. Are there some quick tips that you can share with our viewers, stuff that they should apply in their day-to-day life to ensure that they are not falling prey to these scams?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I even wrote a book about it, how to be digital dummies for cyber safety. So that is a book that actually is on the market right now. So it lists everything. Right? So I'll just summarize a bit. One is, make sure a very basic thing is HTTPS security, all that is there. But these are fraud websites, right? These are not insecure websites. So you have to make sure you go through the entire website to look at as small as, maybe the grammatical errors, what are the written policies, do they have phone numbers or no, do they have a digital presence or no, are they on Facebook or are they on Instagram, what are the reviews of it. We look at all of that too. Look at the owners, right? Like, and do they have anything else that they've done in the past? Right. So at least as a user, see, if it's AI, it can do a lot more in the back end. But on the front, on the face front, we can look at that. And the basic thing, again, it's a very greed based thing. But of course, like, as humans, we tend to get, excited, especially during Diwali sales or something like that, right? If something is way too off in the pricing, right? So definitely be cautious, because it is not that common to have like more than 80% off sale. Right. So I think especially Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, just be wary of them. Especially during sales, just try to stick to the ones that you actually know. Like Amazon's or
Yeah.
something like that, which are more safer than a random website which is promising like an 80% off. And the same thing for SMSs as well, right? Like if someone's telling you and they operate on urgency, a lot of these people, they know that we are busy, more than ever. This generation is very, very busy. We do not have the time. So they go like, hey, you have to pay right now. I need your OTP. Hey, this is going to get disconnected. I have to leave right now. So just take a step back. Nothing is that urgent. Take a step back, talk to the right people from your banks or anybody, right? Just don't fall for those, is what I would recommend. Like basic hygiene. But the
In
book
fact,
will go a lot more
yeah,
in
in
detail.
fact, it's funny you mentioned this because just yesterday I got a call saying that your number will be discontinued. Please press 9 to continue. And I was like, how is anybody telling me that my number will be discontinued? What is going to happen? So the first thing I did was take a
Yeah.
recording of this and figure out, okay, what it was. I kept waiting, nothing happened. Then I figured it's a fraud, so I cut it out. But that's what I'm saying. That's the level. Everybody almost on a day-to-day basis is getting
Yeah.
these scams, and there is such huge scope of making sure. I mean, we are going through a journey. I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
sort of discover better ways to sort of do it. But consumer awareness, like you rightly said, is the
Yeah.
key,
There
especially
was
in this
one.
phase of our lives. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, there was one, very interesting one again that happened. There was a supposed delivery I was expecting on Amazon recently. And this guy called me, and I was out of town in Delhi. And he said, "Oh, ma'am, if you're not at home, I'll just leave it with the security guy," which happens sometimes. So I said, "Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
fine, just leave it there." And then I said, "I'm busy, just call my husband and take the payment." So he called my husband and he was like, "Oh, ma'am just told me to make the payment. I've already left at security," right? So he tried to, like, make my husband pay some 5,000 rupees, saying that ma'am has already approved it and it is already the security. And he made a security impersonating guy. So some guy from my, saying that he is from my security, called me and said, "Ma'am, we have received the package."
Gosh.
And when my husband went there was nothing. right? So that is the level that is happening. So this guy knew that, I think he was one of the delivery guys who may have actually seen our house and knew that it does happen that the parcels can
Not
be
just
left.
your house, it happens in everybody's houses, including mine.
Yeah, but that is how they even know us, right? They know that, hey, I'm busy, and they know I was traveling, and it could be one of the delivery guys, right? So very, very smart, and over smart to an extent. Yeah.
Well, everybody's getting smarter. It's that age, so you've got to outsmart them. And the only key to doing that is bracing yourself with the right information and knowing
Yeah.
what exactly is happening. Knowledge is key, information is key, and that's exactly what we are trying to do here on TBC. Thanks so much, Pratyusha, for joining us, and good luck with everything that you're doing. AI Kavach sounds quite exciting.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, guys. All the best.